Confidence isn't luck. It's not a gift you're born with. It's not something the universe hands you. Confidence is built. It's strategy. It's raw power in its purest form. And the most fascinating thing is this. Whether you look to the west at Machiavelli or to the east at samurai warriors and Zen monks, the message is exactly the same. He who masters himself masters the world. Now imagine this scene. A crowded hall. Conversations, laughter, background noise. The door opens and someone walks in. They don't say a word. They don't introduce themselves. They don't try to call attention. But everyone instinctively turns to look, and the air changes. Have you ever seen that happen? Ever wondered why some people walk in and command respect without even trying? It's not magic. It's not some inborn charisma. It's an art. An ancient, rare, almost invisible art centuries ago. Nicole, Machiavelli, the Renaissance thinker who wrote The Prince, already knew that power is rarely given to the best. It's given to those who act as if they're the best. And long before Machiavelli, in feudal Japan, samurai warriors understood the exact same thing. They called it Fudōshin, the immovable mind, the ability to remain absolutely calm, even when the world around you is on fire. For Machiavelli, confidence is born from two forces, Virtù: your inner strength, courage, and ability to act with intelligence and precision. Fortuna, the element of chance, the things you can't control. For the Japanese, this translated into the Bushidō, the samurai code of honor that demanded discipline, self-control, and decisive action, and the Zen concept of the world changes, luck changes, and you must be ready to act at the right moment. Modern psychology agrees. In 2013, the University of Melbourne studied over 100 workers for a decade and found that confident people earn more and get promoted more often, not just because of technical skill, but because of the perception they project. Exactly as Mac said, the world judges more by appearances than by reality. And here, Essie, the mistake most people make. They think confidence is a feeling you must have before you act. The samurai and Machiavelli would say the opposite. You act first. Unde. Confidence follows. In Bushido, courage is not the absence of fear. It's acting despite the fear. And the Prince, Machiavelli says a leader must not be a slave to his emotions. He must appear calm even when he's unsettled. The Zen masters call this Moshin no mind, no distractions. You see danger, but you don't let it take over you. And this is the first key to real confidence. It's not loud. It doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove anything. It appears in silence, in posture, in composure amid chaos. Once you understand this, something changes. You realize you don't have to wait for some special day to feel confident. You build it every single day in how you prepare, how you present yourself, and how you respond. And this is where East and West meet again. The Japanese concept of shuhari shu, follow the form, learn the rules. Break the rules. Recreate your own path. Act naturally without thinking, Machiavelli would say. Train your mind and skills until acting with confidence becomes instinct. The Zen master would say, practice until the right action flows effortlessly. The result is the same. Presence unshakable, undeniable. When you combine that with Machiavelli, you stop being a plaything of fortune and start shaping the world around you. You become what the Japanese called a prepared warrior, the one who keeps his sword sharp even in times of peace. And that brings us to the next battlefield, one you can't see, but one that decides everything. The true battlefield of confidence isn't in your physical appearance. It's not in your resume. It's not even in your technical skills. It's in your emotions and in how you handle the emotions of others. Machiavelli understood this deeply. In the real world, power is not just about strength or knowledge. It's about emotional control. Whoever governs their emotions governs the game. Whoever is ruled by them becomes a pawn in someone else's strategy. In feudal Japan, samurai trained this through Geimon. The ability to endure the unbearable with patience and dignity. It was training to keep your composure when everything around you screamed for despair. Exactly like Machiavelli advised, appear calm, even when chaos sets in. Modern science confirms what they already knew. Psychologist Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, showed that leaders with emotional self-control not only inspire more trust, they also make better decisions under pressure. A Harvard Business Review study revealed that leaders perceived as calm in crises are 39% more likely to keep their team's support. But here's the paradox. People think confidence means feeling invincible. For Machiavelli and for the samurai, confidence means fear and still keeping your eyes steady. Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's greatest swordsman, wrote in the Book of Five Rings that a warrior must be prepared for death at every moment, not as a form of pessimism, but as liberation. If you accept the possibility of the worst, it can't paralyze you. That Fudōshin, the immovable mind. Machiavelli and Musashi would agree. Fear never disappears. What changes is your relationship with it. And there's another crucial element, perception. Machiavelli said that men judge more by what they see than by what they touch. People react to perception first, only later, maybe to facts. In Japan. This connects to the aesthetic principle of Kanso valuing simplicity and clarity. A leader doesn't need to over-decorate himself. He needs to project security in a clean, direct, and noise-free way. And this is where the two cultures meet most clearly. The strategic mask for Machiavelli. It's not enough to be strong. You must appear strong on the world stage. You're both the actor and the director for the samurai. Every gesture on the battlefield was calculated to inspire rallies and intimidate enemies. Zen added another layer with Mushin, mental state where there's no space for blind rage, panic, or hesitation. You respond cleanly, like water flowing around a stone. Machiavelli would say, this is essential to avoid falling into other people's emotional traps. And yes, there are traps in conflict. Whether it's a business meeting or a political fight, your opponent's goal may not be to beat your argument, but to make you lose your composure. When you react impulsively, you hand over the game. When you keep your composure, you dominate the board. That's why the invisible battlefield is really two battles at once. Against yourself, to avoid being dragged down by your own emotions. Against the expectations of others, to avoid being shaped by their perception and instead shape their perception of you. This is where strategic vision enters in the Princi. Machiavelli advises a ruler to inspire loyalty, but not trust blindly, to appear kind, but be ready to act with firmness, to appear just, but never be chained to a naive idea of justice. The Japanese applied this through the art of military strategy. Musashi taught not only to read an opponent's sword, but also his eyes, his breathing, his emotional state. Because in the end, the fight is decided before the final strike. It's won in the mental battlefield. So, ask yourself, how do you react to criticism? How do you respond to pressure? Do you shout? Do you justify yourself? Do you attack? Or do you observe first, speak later, and act with surgical precision? From Machiavelli and the samurai. True confidence is exactly this: the ability to keep your sword steady, your eyes calm, and your mind clear when everyone else is trembling. By now, you know that confidence isn't some magical feeling that appears out of nowhere. It's not a genetic gift. It's not luck. It's built brick by brick, choice by choice, day by day. For Machiavelli, a true leader doesn't rely solely on fortune, on luck, or chance. He prepares so that when fortune appears, he's ready to seize it. This requires the active force of shaping your destiny with your own hands. The Japanese masters would say something similar. They'd call it Kasan continuous. Improvement. Not becoming perfect all at once, but getting better every single day. A samurai sharpened his sword constantly, even in times of peace. Not because he expected a battle tomorrow, but because he knew that when it came, there would be no time to sharpen anything. And confidence works the same way. You train it before you need it. Miyamoto Musashi said you must train in such a way that there's no difference between training and battle. Machiavelli would agree. The time to prepare your authority is before chaos arrives. So how do you put this into practice? Train emotional control daily. Don't wait for a crisis to test your patience. Use simple techniques like deep breathing. 3 slow breaths before responding can change your presence entirely. Study and prepare more than others. The confidence Machiavelli spoke of is born from solid knowledge. The samurai didn't just know how to fight. They studied strategy, philosophy, and the arts. Diverse knowledge gives you a wider range of possible responses. Project strategic presence. Your posture, your tone of voice, your steady gaze. All of these shape how others see you. Columbia University research shows that confident posture influences judgments even when the spoken content is identical. Practice daily doses of courage. Don't wait for a big moment to be bold. Take small, calculated risks every day. Have that difficult conversation. Make the decision you've been postponing. Use silence as a weapon. Machiavelli said that speaking less and observing more is key to understanding the game before Machiavelli. Zen reinforces this. In silence, you see more clearly and hear what others don't say. And here's something few understand. Preserving your confidence while it's still being built. The Machiavellian leader doesn't expose himself unprepared. He works behind the scenes, away from judgment, until he's ready to step into the light. In Japanese aesthetics, kintsugi repairs broken pottery with gold. The cracks aren't hidden. They're highlighted as part of its story. And that's what you should do with your failures. Don't deny them. Integrate them into your strength. Machiavelli would say that a leader who has faced defeat and returns stronger earns more respect than one who has never been tested. Your inner empire is like a territory. Inside it, forces are always at war. Fear versus courage, doubt versus decision, emotion versus reason. You must be the prince of that territory. You must take the throne every single day, deciding that you govern. That takes discipline. It takes internal silence. It takes brutal honesty to admit, here I was weak. Here I hesitated. Here I ran. And like a Machiavellian general, you correct your course. True confidence is what others sense when you walk into a room. They can't explain it, but they know you know who you are. And you know what you're doing? The world does not follow the hesitant. It follows those who act as if they already own what they desire. Machiavelli knew that the human mind is an unbeatable weapon in the hands of one who knows how to use it. The Japanese knew that when body and spirit are trained together, they become unshakable. Combine these philosophies and you get a final lesson. Master yourself and the rest will follow. Build your virtue with the rigor of a samurai. Project your presence like a prince before his kingdom. And never depend solely on fortune and be ready for it, but never a prisoner to it. Because in the end, confidence is not a shout. It's not puffed up arrogance. It's a steady gaze, a calm silence, a calculated move, an unshakable presence. And it's the first step toward mastering not only yourself, but the world.